Has this ever happened to you guys? Well, today I'm going to show you how to install some reverse parking sensors in your car. Let's do it.
Hell man, why don't you watch where you're going?
Alright guys, so here are the tools we're going to need. A multimeter to check for the wires needed to intercept in order to get this reverse parking sensor kit up and running. Wire strippers to strip back the insulation of existing wires. Pliers would do good here too, but ideally you'd want wire strippers. Electrical tape. This is optional if you're using heat shrink tubing and the heat gun. Masking tape or blue painter's tape to line up and mark the spots required to place the sensors. You may need a screwdriver depending on the car's configuration. A tape measure in order to measure the horizontal distance of the sensors as well as the vertical distance from the ground. A drill, because if you haven't guessed already, we will be drilling holes into the bumper of the car. So if you feel uncomfortable doing that, then you shouldn't be watching this video. And then the reverse parking sensor kit, of course. These are optional, but a heat gun along with heat shrink tubing to protect the wires from the elements. Oh, also, you're gonna need a soldering iron and solder to secure those connections. Once you got all the tools needed, park the car on a level surface. Take your tape measure and measure the height you wish to place the sensors. According to the manual, ideally 0.6 to 0.8 meters from the ground. Take your masking tape and place pieces of them horizontally where you measured the height. You'll see why in a bit. Take the masking tape and connect it from one end of the bumper to the next, lining it up with the pieces of tape you placed earlier. Measure the height of the tape along the way to make sure that it is the same height all the way through. Next, find the center point of the bumper and mark it. What I usually do is either measure from the logo at the back of the car or measure from between the two lights above the number plate. Next, mark the spots for the sensors. According to the manual, the sensors should be 0.3 to 0.4 meters apart. This is what I did. Say you choose to have them 0.4 meters apart. Then that means you want to measure the total horizontal distance of 1.2 meters. So the middle point is 0.6 meters. I split it in half because the measuring tape is easier to manage like that. Now guys, I can't stress this enough. Double, triple, even quadruple check those spots you marked before moving on to the next step. Because if you mess this up, well, you played yourself. Alright, here comes the fun part. Connect your included hole saw drill bit to your drill. Place the tip of the bit on the middle of the first marked spot and drill away. According to the manual, from left to right, place the sensors in the holes in ascending order from A to D. Notice on the back of the sensors there's a small indicator of how it should be positioned. So when pushing the sensor in the hole, make sure that up is at the top. kinda have to massage the rubber anchors in place. I would recommend using something small like a mini flathead screwdriver. Do it like I did here and you should be fine. Alright, that was the first one, now on to the others. Let's listen to some wonderful copyright-free music in the meanwhile. Next, we want to find the spot to get the wires into the trunk of the car. Find the wires which we need to intercept from the reverse light. If you're not sure on which wires are for what, then take a look at which wires are running to the reverse light. If you still don't trust that, then turn the electronics of the car on but don't start the engine. Pull up the handbrake and shift the gear lever to reverse. Then use your multimeter to check for the wire that is getting 12 volts. Strip the insulation off of the two wires leading to the reverse light. Here is where you have the option to use insulation tubing. I opted to go for electrical tape since that is the faster lazy man option. Take the red wire from the power line of the reverse parking sensor kit and connect it to the positive connection of the reverse light. Then take the black and red connection from the same power line and connect it to the negative connection of the reverse light. Once done, solder the connection and wrap it in electrical tape or your heat shrink tubing. From here, the process is literally plug and play. Run your sensor wires into the trunk from the spot that we found earlier and connect the sensors to their corresponding ports on the main unit. Then run the monitor wire from wherever you like inside of the car to the reverse parking sensor main unit. Check my reverse parking camera video to see how to do that. The process is actually identical. Finally, plug the power line into the main unit. Put everything back together and let's test it out.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street.
Alright, anyways, so here's just a short clip showing you guys the display when the car is reversing. Don't worry about the flickering, that's the camera's fault, so yeah. Anyway, so if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and thanks for watching. Take care, guys.